everyone. It's Candace Craw-Goldman, and welcome to another edition of Worldwide Regression Week 2020. And before we even get going, this is being recorded in March to be played in May. So, there's a timing thing going on here that's very interesting this year. But I would like to now welcome my very special guest. I've looked so forward to this particular interview this year. This is my wonderful friend and colleague, hypnotherapist for those on the path of spiritual awakening, the one, the only, Alba Weinman. Hi, Alba.
Hi, what an introduction. Wow. Thank you.
I really have been looking forward to this for a long time, for a number of reasons, but why don't you just start by telling us what's up with you? I think you've just come back from some traveling. You've got other things in the works. But remembering too that, Worldwide Regression Week, this is all about unleashing your mind this year. So how does what you do fit in with all of that?
Well, I just got back from a very interesting trip to Peru. And I had never thought of going to Peru, actually. I'm not the type of person that sets these goals of I have to be there. It just happened. So my colleague Antonio Sanjo put together a tour of a bunch of people who had taken our introspective hypnosis course and had just known us. And we went to Peru, and with us came Blair Styra, who is a channel for spirit. He channels Tabaash, and now he's channeling a new spirit, an entity whose name is unknown at this time. He hasn't revealed himself yet, but he's a very, very intense teacher. And before I even met the people, when I was in Peru, I got a message in my head, and it was very startling. Before I walked into the restaurant to meet the rest of the group, I heard very distinctly saying, your life will never be the same.
Wow.
Yeah, it was kind of scary because that was a very, very powerful statement.
Sure.
Just saying, like, it was almost like ominous, like your life will never be the same. And I walked into the restaurant, and we met the people, and we worked together. Well, when we got to Cusco, we did the actual event that I had there as a gathering, and the gathering was co-hosted between me and Blair's spirits. It really wasn't with Blair, it was with the Tabaash and the other entity. And we were basically told that we were being reconstructed. We really were never going to be the same. We were going to leave Peru totally different. And many experiences happened there, including a regression that was done, which I have never experienced anything like this. I don't know if I'll experience it again, but hopefully I will. It was me and this entity that did this regression together. And what was amazing was that it was almost seamless. Like I would be doing something, and then he would come in and he would continue, and then I would do it, and then he would do it. And it was the most amazing experience that I've had so far with a hypnosis session. So that was a first for me. It was outstanding.
Wow. So let's set this up for people who might be watching now who don't know much about what you do, how you do it, what a regression is, why you would be doing it with an entity. What are we talking about? So you had someone laying there who went into trance.
Well, we had the entire group, because usually when I have a gathering, I have them all lie down after lunch and we do regressions. In this case, the entity was actually doing teaching in the afternoon. And then we did the regression after break, and everybody was on the ground, and it was like a dance between him and me, putting them into a trance, deepening them, taking them on a journey, and it was amazing. Some of it will be online in my video. I launched one today, and there's going to be another one, part 2 of my Cusco gathering. But that was the amazing part of it, is that I seem to be evolving. And this trip that I just took me to a whole new level, which I never experienced. I had many different supernatural experiences happened to me in Peru, which I never expected. Became almost, I kept calling them like lightning rods. There was so much tingling and so much electricity coming out of my hands that if I could see it, I would have seen like lightning coming out of them. So there was a lot of activation that happened in Peru for me personally. So something definitely happened. So I feel like my work is now on a different level. Only I know that, you know, as people come to me, they wouldn't know the difference, but I know the difference, that I have changed. So my technique, I've only had 2 since I came back. And for me, my sessions are getting more and more profound. Not so much with the content, but with the energy that's flowing through me. That's the difference. I'm getting into things that I never expected to get into before. My sessions are hypnotherapy, so I do dive into people's issues from this lifetime and other lifetimes, and we do a lot of hypnotherapy, which is not the same as just hypnosis or past life regression. So they're getting very, very intense, very powerful. I feel when I'm doing my session, like I'm actually connected into the electricity. Like I feel like while I'm doing this, I'm being zapped with energy. And seamless channel that I'm doing now. It's like everything is through me. And if you've heard any of my stuff before, I don't remember what happens during my sessions. Once I'm done with them, it's like they never happen. So I'm plugged into something. It's not keeping me in the moment, in that remembering what happened. It's my conscious mind is like totally somewhere else. So that's what's happening to me. It's like my life is changing, like in ways I never expected.
That's crazy. And, you know, I have to say this because as I'm watching this, the Zoom interface has been having lots and lots of issues. And there's, and even your voice in the last couple minutes has been very garbled. The signal looks like it's fine, but your voice is a little garbled. I still could understand you. I don't know if my voice gets garbled, let me know, but this is interesting. I'm just hoping the whole thing records with everything else going on these days, energetically and electrically. But that is so amazing. And I have to tell you, in my own BQH sessions, I can't say that I followed what you just said, but the same increase of intensity and some stuff, I'm like, well, that's new. And that's, and I've been doing this for 12 years. And what's happened since January has been kind of new. So I think probably when we as light workers have been talking about this new energy coming, and it's coming, and the new earth, and we're shifting and all that, wow, really happening, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And you know, people who know me as like the most un-woo-woo person there is. Okay, I'm very businesslike. I don't get into the woo-woo stuff, talking about crazy things. During my sessions, I follow along, but I personally don't get into talking about stuff that you wouldn't talk to just a normal person. Mm-hmm. I keep that kind of like on a separate shelf. I don't bring that out. So I'm not going to be talking about the new earth. I'm not going to be talking about subjects like that. That's just not who I am. I'm talking about my clients. But the stuff that's happening to me is very real. It's very real. And I was having fun with it on my trip because, you know, I would go up to a person and just say, like, give me your hand. And I was just like putting my hand over there and going like, whoa, what is that? What is that? And it was like electricity on them. And I was having fun putting it on people's heads. And
keep your hands away from the computer right now so we can continue to hear you. No, I'm serious.
But that was what was happening. I was playing with my new energies. And I felt like when I left Machu Picchu, I had like a new body. I felt like I had a new energetic body. And really those words that were given to me, you will never be the same, all of a sudden started making sense. Now, how that's going to affect my sessions, I don't know. I know they're getting more and more intense. So I have been slowing down quite a bit on my work because it's not that it's draining me. It's just that it's such powerful energy that I can't be doing that much work in a day.
Yeah, you'll blow out your own circuits like you're blowing out the computer right now. Yeah, you got to take care of yourself. I have to tell you the same thing. Some similar things with my hands. Really interesting things going on. But what have you got coming up? What's the rest of your 2020 looking like? I mean, other than slowing down on your sessions a little bit, what are some of the things you're looking forward to this year?
Well, a lot of my plans are changing and shifting because of the issues that are going on with the virus right now. So I've had to reschedule things, but I'm focusing a lot on the gatherings. And the reason is because I am slowing down quite a bit on my sessions. I have so many people who follow me who want to have a session with me, who want to have interaction, that's why I'm gathering them together. I feel that it's very, very important at this time for the light workers to get together, to be able to share that energy with each other, to be able to talk to each other and know that they have a support system. At least you've met somebody at an event where you can talk very openly with them about what's going on in your life. So to me, these gatherings are so, so important at this time to share this energy, to share this experience. So I'm doing a lot of these gatherings throughout the United States and also overseas. I had 4 scheduled or 5 scheduled here in the US. Let's see how it goes. I may have to move them around. But I am also going to be doing the introspective hypnosis classes with my colleague Antonio Sancho. Going to the Netherlands, we're going to Sydney, Australia, and I'm also going to Cape Town, South Africa, and Johannesburg. So I'm trying to spread my energy around, and the reason for that is I truly believe that I need to be in these places. I need to be there. And one of the things that was really interesting is I was able to see one of my past lives in one of the exercises that I did in Peru. And I saw myself doing the same thing that I'm doing now, which was going around in that time in the villages. I don't know how far I walked, but I was gathering people together and instructing them and giving them information. So I feel like I'm doing the same thing in this life too. Like I have to be there to gather a group together and just share that knowledge.
That's incredible, really, when you think about it. And how often is Blair coming with you, or was that a one-off, or what? And the entity do you need him to have him or her?
Well, Blair and I have been talking about this for several years, and that we were going to be working together in more of these sessions. It had always been a dream of mine, always, to have a hypnosis session, do a hypnosis session with him channeling at the same time. And in Peru, my dream was a reality. It became a reality, and it was even better than I experienced. So when I spoke with this entity in a meeting before our event, we actually discussed that this would be happening more often. I was going to be doing more events with him, and that we needed to do these teachings. It's really important at this time for people to gather together and not be isolated in this time of change. I know that physically, we're going into isolation because of the virus, but spiritually, we need to get together and share what we're doing. Our energy, when we put our energies together, it's like a bomb. It's just an explosion of light. So that's what's important about us getting together, even if it's a small group, for us to be able to share this light.
As I was driving along the road today, seeing how empty some of the streets were. I mean, they're empty anyway in rural Kansas, but I mean, really, folks, less traffic even than normal. And I was thinking about the things that we were talking about, but I was thinking about how really the whole world in some ways is coming together, where the entire world is experiencing something similar right now. This has never happened in our lifetime, not even with the big wars or anything. This has never, ever happened. And there's no surprise to some of us, is there? I mean, we might not have known how, but the fact that it's happening is not a big surprise to us light workers, is it?
No, in fact, they've been talking about this event. And I think that we have been preparing for a long time for something to happen. We have to be the ones who understand that there's going to be a lot of changes, a lot of chaos, a lot of stuff going on out there that others may be terrified about. But we who have been prepared for this are the ones who are going to keep the waters calm. Because just our peace that we kind of resonate that it's going to be okay, that helps a lot.
It really does. And that word chaos, the very first video I did, I think it was a live YouTube or whatever in January, I'm like, all I know is chaos. There's chaos coming. I don't know what it's going to look like. But at the same time, Alba, I'm sure you're feeling the same thing that so many of us are, aren't you? Even though you can see it, and even though you know that people are going through some big issues. Hey, even me, I'm thinking I may have to bring my elderly father out to the farm, within the next few days because of all these circumstances. Even with seeing people go through some significant hardships, there's an excitement, there's a bubbling, there's an effervescence within me that says, it's feeling something on the horizon just around the corner. You feel that too, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. We've been waiting for this. This is why we were born. This is why we're here. We're here on this mission. And a lot of people come to us, what's our purpose? Well, right now, you're on. This is it. And it's almost like we've been prepared all our lives for this, and getting back to the point of being the stabilizing force. We are here as the light. We are here to stabilize things. We're here to remind people to be in the moment of now. Yeah. Nothing is going on except the moment of now. So all these people who are concerned about what could happen and what was happening, that doesn't matter. You need to be in the moment of now. Mm-hmm. And in God's world, or if you don't like the word God, in Source's world, there is no bad or good experience. It's just experience. It's just life. Mm-hmm. So live it. Live your life in the moment of now. And you'll find that when you're living truly in the moment of now, there's nothing really to worry about.
I do a lot of life path sessions myself, and I find myself talking to clients, even ones who've experienced significant challenges in their lives. I've said, it's my real sense that most of you have won some sort of lottery ticket just to be here, even with these circumstances. Mm-hmm. Do you have that feeling as well?
Yeah. Really, I have absolutely no fear of what's going to happen. I just feel like everything is perfect. It's exactly how it needs to be. And we just need to enjoy the moment. Just enjoy the moment. Enjoy what's happening. And I'm not saying enjoy like ha ha ha, but just live the moment. There's something in the moment that's important for you to live, or else you wouldn't have created it. And we've all co-created this.
Yes, it's true. And life isn't just all about everything being perfect and working out like you might have thought it should or needs to, or that you deserve to. Being in the moment and appreciating what's in front of you. I mean, not to be maudlin, but I mean, the last few hours with my mother in the hospital room as she was passing, some of the most now moments that I have ever experienced, that I appreciate, and I really see the beauty in them.
Yeah.
But that's not what humans typically want to talk about when, be in the now. They think of, I don't know, ski jumping or something and flying in the air. But being in the now means all those now moments, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I look back, and we're talking about experiences you've had. I think back at the most scary moments of my life where I thought, how am I ever going to get out of this? And I look back at that now, and that's when I was truly alive. Truly alive. Like, you really had to be thinking, like, wow, what is happening, like, right now? Why is it happening? Why am I here? And I think that in these times, it's a really good time to reflect on that. For people who have their kids at home, who are not going to school, be in the moment.
Yeah.
This is a gift that you've given yourself to be able to teach your children, or spend time with them that you would never spend time with. This is a gift. So we have to always look at, what can we learn from this? How can we evolve our souls from this experience? Because you can't be a victim. You have co-created it with all of us. Mm-hmm. We're all in this together. So why have we created this in our life? Mm-hmm. And we called it in our session, we are the rainbow warriors. We came here with the light, and that's what we have to be. We have to be the light for everybody. We have to be the peacekeepers, the ones that understand. There's nothing to worry about.
We have a couple colleagues, Donna McMurtry and Diana Adair, and they use the term transition team, which I really liked as well. That really kind of explains some of what it is that we're doing. And suddenly, this is an opportunity for those of us who do this kind of work, energy work, or way showing of any sort, helping, supporting of any sort, even if it's on a very small scale. It's our turn to shine, isn't it? I mean, really, our turn to shine.
Yeah. And by being at peace ourselves, living in the moment now, just focusing on the best of every moment, how wonderful is that?
Yeah.
So that's really, I think, what we need to take out of this, is that in every moment, there's something that you can do to raise the vibration, to make yourself happy, just to enjoy life. And being that I just came back from Peru, where things are so simple, life is so simple, and life is simple, and we've made it very complicated.
Yes, we have, haven't we? We sure have. I was just thinking as you were talking that, here it's not quite that. Well, wait, it is. It's the third week in March as we are doing this, mm-hmm. And just as everything is starting to get sort of, travel is being restricted and things are closing down. Do you know what happens in my life? I find this just fascinating. So look, I say to you people out there who are, now or whatever's going on in April when we air this, look out there and see what else is coming to inform you. Here's what happened in just the last 2 to 3 days in my life. One of our trucks is in the shop for an indefinite amount of time, which means my husband can't commute even if he wanted to. The second thing is a horse that I have had for, 22 years, who's never had an abscess or stone bruise in his hoof before, suddenly has come up lame, and I must go to the barn multiple times a day to nurse my horse, which, here's what's fascinating, keeps my husband home. Even if all this other stuff wasn't going on, I got to get away from this machine and get away from work, because I'm a workaholic, everyone knows that, yes. And spend even more time at the barn than I normally do, which breaks up my day. And I'm spending time with my ponies, whom I love so much. And I always run and go, God, I wish I had time for you today. We are all given an opportunity to do a little of that right now.
Exactly. When I was in Peru, my computer locked up after my last client. It went into an upgrade and it locked it up. I couldn't get into my computer. My pad, my Galaxy pad, which I use as an alternate, was typing almost gobbledygook. It was not even typing the letters that I was putting in. And my phone was acting up strangely.
It was your hands.
Well, what I kept thinking, even though I didn't follow, because I don't watch TV, but like the episodes of Lost, I kept thinking, did I truly die? Am I on a different dimension? Because I'm trying to use equipment that is not working for me. So I kept thinking to myself, am I truly alive? Or did I die?
Isn't that crazy? But isn't that kind of cool?
Yeah, it was. Here I was for a week saying, well, this must be what it feels like to be dead. Because I see everything around me, but I'm not able to interact. I wasn't able to call home because the things weren't working. It was almost like I was in a different dimension. And I went, how cool is that? Well, that's good. It's okay. So I did experience a really strange experience in Peru in which I was almost transported to a different dimension. And it was okay.
Wow. Well, never a dull moment around you. Now, looking forward, though, I would love to be able to talk about what you might be doing here in the Heartland in the fall. I think you've already put it up on your website, and I think we can talk about it now.
Yep.
All right. Well, what do you have in store for the people in Kansas and anyone who wants to travel here?
Well, I am having a gathering. Do you have dates on that?
I was trying to pull up the phone to look at that right now. I believe it's the 10th of October. The 10th, and of course, we're still kind of setting this up right now, but the 10th of October is a Saturday. The 11th is a Sunday. Right. And the 12th is a Monday. And so we are still kicking around the idea of how you're going to hang around for a little bit after your gathering, but I thought we were going to do the gathering on the 10th, which is a Saturday.
It is. So we're going to do the gathering on the 10th. It's already on my website, so if people want to join, they can. It is limited, so I only have a certain amount of equipment to take with me. So we are going to do the gathering, and then the next day, Candace, you're going to be starting your class.
Yes.
And I thought that I'd drop in and just say hi to folks. And if you have any questions for me, I'll be happy to answer them, because, one of the things that I noticed when I go to the introspective hypnosis class with Antonio is a lot of people have questions of just things that are not about technique, but just questions about, experience and things like that. And when I'm there in the class with Antonio, and the same thing with you, Candace, we're real people. We're not perfect. We do things have gone wrong in our life and in our practice. And I like to be able to tell people that, that I'm still learning. Every single session is a new way to learn for me. So, if you have questions for me like that about, not about how I started, because there's plenty of interviews about that, but anything about the hypnosis techniques that people would be interested, I'd be happy to stick around for a little while and just talk about it before you start your class.
Well, long before I was doing and teaching this kind of work myself or with Dolores Cannon, I did that with art. And I learned very early on that when I was teaching art, that's when I would learn the most. So I absolutely adore teaching. And yes, we've begun the live BQH courses and we're still putting together the timing of it. But the first morning is going to have Alba Weinman as an extra special bonus gift for those of you who want to sign up for the BQH course.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really cool. Because there are a lot of people who have questions about, things that happen. And, one of the things, Candace, that I want to tell people who are practicing, people who have practice and are learning about practicing hypnosis, is that you can't do it unless you practice.
Yeah.
You could take 5, 6, 7, 8 classes and be reading books, but unless you get in there, roll up your sleeves and do the sessions yourself, it's not going to happen. You have to, when you do hypnosis, it has to be as natural as breathing. It can't be something that you're looking up, you know, it's almost like, you know, those, when you call 911, they have scripts. You know, if you tell them this, they flip the pages and that's what their script is. You can't do that in hypnosis. You have to be there 100%, 200% for your client. And it has to be natural, like breathing. Your questions have to be natural. So my suggestion for anybody who is doing this work or planning to do this work, you must practice. I don't care who you practice on.
Right.
It has to be practice.
Right. And you and I both know newer practitioners who sometimes say, but I don't have any clients. Well, practice on each other. There's enough of you out there that you can just do that. Get together and practice with each other.
Exactly. Exactly. When I was doing my hypnotherapy course, we called them hypno buddies. We would actually have one buddy that we would practice with each other all the time. So, you know, they'd go to our house, you'd go to their house or whatever, and we'd practice together. And that allowed us to practice the techniques. And this is what you need to do, no matter what job you do. You know, I had someone the other day tell me, you know, you do your work and it sounds, it's so beautiful, it's so seamless. And I said, what's the difference between you listening to someone who's a concert pianist? You know, they spend hours and hours practicing. It doesn't just come natural. You have to practice every day for this to work. So if you say, oh, well, I'm not going to do hypnosis for the next 3 months, or I don't have any clients, you're going to forget.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yeah. I used to say when talking about, you know, our teacher, Dolores Cannon, I used to say she makes it look easy, kind of like an ice skater does. When an ice skater's out there, they just look effortless, but you just throw on some skates every once in a while, you're going to look like a klutz.
That's right. That's right. So for those of you who are listening who are hypnotists, practice. That's all I could tell you. Make a lot of mistakes. Make mistakes.
It's okay to do that, right?
Exactly. Because in the mistakes, when you make a mistake, which there's no such thing as a mistake, but when you feel that you've made a mistake and haven't done your best, the next client, you're going to do it better. You're going to remember that because it hurt. So you're going to do it better next time. And that's how we all learn.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, Alba, I can't wait for you to come up here and show you around a little bit, my little corner of the world. I'm sure you're going to like at least parts of it. And for those of you who might be interested in Alba's gathering, if it's not already filled, or my BQH course, the link for that is below. And we'll be talking more about that in the near future. Alba, thank you so much for taking part of your day out to talk to me.
Thank you for inviting me, and I look forward to seeing you and all those new students and folks that come to the gathering. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be great. Well, thanks so much. Well, and that's today's episode, Worldwide Regression Week 2020. Stay tuned because there's more after this one. Thanks again, Alba. See you on the forum.
Bye.
Bye.